What would you do if the family you built turned its back on you? I stood on the porch of my son's house, the one I'd helped him buy years ago when he and Lisa were just starting out. The air was thick with the scent of barbecue and laughter spilling from inside. It was their annual family gathering, a tradition I'd started decades ago. But this time, Lisa's words from the week before echoed in my head. Frank, it's best if you don't come. It's complicated. Complicated? I'd raised Tom, loved him through every scraped knee and late-night call. I'd welcomed Lisa into our family with open arms. And now, I was an outsider at my own son's table. I wasn't always the stubborn type. At 68, I'd learned to pick my battles. But this stung deeper than I could admit. I'd spent the week wrestling with it: anger, hurt, confusion. Tom hadn't called to explain. Not a word. I could have stayed home, let it slide, but something in me refused. Family was everything. I taught Tom that. So, I made a plan. Not out of spite, but to remind them who I was, who we were. The day of the gathering, I drove to their house. Not to barge in, no. I parked a block away, my old pickup creaking as I stepped out. In the bed of the truck was a wooden sign I'd spent days carving. Family is forever. It read, the letters etched deep, stained with my own hands. I'd always been handy, and this was my way of speaking without words. I carried it to their backyard, where the party was in full swing, and propped it against the oak tree we'd planted when Tom was born. Then I waited, just out of sight, heart pounding like I was a kid again. Inside, I could see them through the window: Lisa laughing, Tom passing plates, their kids running wild. It was the kind of scene I dreamed of when I became a father. But there I was, on the outside looking in. I almost turned back. Almost. Then I saw her, Mrs. Clara, the neighbor who'd known Tom since he was in diapers. She was hobbling across the lawn, her cane sinking into the grass, heading toward the party. She wasn't invited either, I realized. Lisa had mentioned something about keeping it small this year. Small, my foot. Half the neighborhood was there. That's when the twist came. Clara saw me, her eyes sharp despite her age. Frank, she whispered, you're not letting them push you out, are you? Her voice was fire, and it lit something in me. She wasn't just a neighbor, she was family, too, in the way that matters. She'd baked cookies for Tom's birthdays, patched his jeans when I couldn't afford new ones. I told her my plan, and her grin was pure mischief. Let's make it bigger, she said. We didn't storm the house. Instead, Clara called a few of her friends, old-timers like us who'd been quietly sidelined. Within an hour, we'd set up our own gathering in the front yard. I dragged out my old grill, Clara brought her famous potato salad, and others showed up with chairs, drinks, even a guitar. We weren't loud, but we weren't invisible either. The sign stood proud by the tree, catching the glow of string lights we'd strung up. The moment came when Lisa stepped outside, her smile freezing as she saw us. Tom followed, his face a mix of shock and something else, guilt, maybe. I didn't say a word. I just flipped a burger on the grill and handed a plate to Clara. The music started, an old folk tune, and soon we were laughing, sharing stories of the old days. Neighbors who'd been at their party drifted over, drawn by the warmth. Even Tom's kids ran out, tugging at my sleeve, asking why I wasn't inside. Lisa approached, her voice tight. Frank, what is this? I looked at her, not angry, just steady. This is family, Lisa. You don't get to decide who belongs. Her eyes flicked to the sign, and I saw her falter. Tom stepped forward, his voice low. Dad, I didn't know I should have called. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. The truth was, I didn't need an apology. I needed them to see. By the end of the night, their gathering had merged with ours. Lisa helped serve Clara's salad, and Tom sat beside me, quiet but present. The kids played under the oak tree, its branches heavy with memory. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The sign said it all. Clara caught my eye as we packed up, her smile soft. You did good, Frank. I shrugged, but inside, I felt whole again. Family wasn't about being invited, it was about showing up, no matter what. And that night, under the stars, we all remembered what it meant to belong. Yindi.